Hello, Big Yumbo here. Today I'm going to be doing a store review for Fitness Bee Closet. This is my fourth time filming this. I'm going to try not to be so aggressive this time. Anyways, I'd like to start by looking at the feedback. So overall, generally positive. We have one negative feedback though. Let's see what it is. Seller canceled and refunded without asking. Very disappointing. So you probably just lost the item, or maybe you sell on Poshmark as well and it's sold on both platforms. Unfortunately, you can't get this feedback removed because it is your fault. You can't cancel orders. It's a defect for out of stock. Yeah. But what you could do to avoid this in the future is just let them know, I'm really sorry. I messed up on my inventory system and I can't find your order. I'm going to refund you fully right now, and I'm going to keep looking for it. If I find it, I'll let you know and I'll give you an even better deal. That's what I always say. So they're hoping to get that better deal and then they forget about it. You don't get negative feedback. Just let them know and it won't be that big of a deal. Mostly clothing. Let's see. Pronto Omo. Not so good. Let's go to newly listed. Alright, so it is the 15th, so you didn't list today or yesterday. So a little inconsistent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Doing maybe about 12 listings per day. Maybe 10, maybe 15 sometimes. We got 906 in your store. And let's see what your sell-through rate is. 69 sold. So it's like about a 7 or 8% sell-through rate on the 90-day, which is pretty bad, to be honest with you. I'd say you want to be trying to sell about 1% of your store every day once you reach a certain size, and that'll give you like about a 90% sell-through rate to 100%. And then you're going to have a better cash flow. But let's try and see if we can figure out why your sell-through rate is so bad. Newly listed. So Eileen Fisher, good brand. I'd say that's a decent price, decent shipping price. Gap is a not so good brand. It's like a 10% sell-through rate on Gap women's pants. I know because I looked it up the last time I filmed this. And Eileen Fisher women's pants is about a 30% sell-through rate. So what that means is, so I believe it was for Gap women's pants, there's like 20,000 listed and 2,000 sold for the 90-day. Which that means if you list a pair of Gap women's pants, you have a 10% chance of selling it within 90 days. Whereas with Eileen Fisher, you have a 30% chance of selling it within 90 days. But the benefit for Eileen Fisher is that most of the prices are going to be higher, so you have a way more of a margin in between where you can make it for sure sell within that 90 days. By pricing it lower than everyone else who has it priced at like 45 bucks. And you're doing good here by having it at 30 with a 20% off coupon. That's probably what I would price those pants at. But for Gap, there's literally hundreds of people selling it for $1 plus shipping. So there's absolutely no room for you to, it's just a race to the bottom because the sell-through rate is so bad. Whereas with Eileen Fisher, it doesn't matter what I price it at. As long as the sell-through rate stays relatively healthy at 30%, and that's not actually a good sell-through rate, and you can also, for Eileen Fisher, do other things like have a better title, include the style, whereas with Gap, nobody's really searching up specific Gap styles. But since Eileen Fisher actually has a following, if you take that extra time, you can sell it really fast. I know this because I'll just show you. Eileen Fisher in my store, although Eileen Fisher only has like a 30% sell-through rate on eBay, in my store, let's see. I believe I have like a 400% sell-through rate in Eileen Fisher. So I have 3 listed and 11 sold. So like 350% sell-through rate. And that's by having that competitive pricing. See, I'm pricing it about where you price it, around the $30 mark. And occasionally, with markdowns, they'll get down to $8, or if there's something wrong with that. Yeah, so that's what's cool about Eileen Fisher. But with Gap, you cannot do that. If you want to be having a 300% sell-through rate with Gap in your store, you're going to have to price it for $1. Free People, similar to Eileen Fisher, but a little worse. Again, the style is super important. You also don't have very many keywords in your titles. Athleta, another one. It's a great brand, but you could probably get more for than $25 for these pants if you use the actual style. Almost certainly you can. Let's see what you did here. Cinch ankle. Those are almost like a jogger. You can put that in the title. See, under that tag right there is going to be the style number. If you flip that up right under it, there's the style number, and you can just do that in Google Images. It'll bring up the style, and it'll probably have a really great sell-through rate. They usually do. Size 8's a good size. What else here? Let's see. This is good. Vintage Polo does really well. This has some flaws. Why isn't it showing me the actual picture that I'm looking at? You don't have the measurements. You have very few photos. So you don't have the measurements in them. And I think doing this white background is a waste of time. That's all I'm going to say about that. I already went on a rant about it, which is why I can't post my last video that I filmed on you. $17 shipping. That shouldn't cost you more than like $8.50 to ship. That's insane. And you do not have returns. Do you have the measurements down here? And you don't have the measurements down here. So we don't even know. You have inseam 38. It's 38. Wait. Let's go to your Eileen Fisher one real quick. I don't think the inseam on those pants was 38 because I think you're just... Yeah, so your Eileen Fisher doesn't have the measurements either. You've got no returns, and you don't have any measurements in your item specifics or in your description, which is really bad. That's like, I would be super surprised if you sold these pants. Like, who's gonna buy these pants? Maybe if you had returns on, someone might buy them, try them on, hopefully they fit, maybe they return them, or you could just put the measurements in there. I'm not saying you absolutely have to have returns. A lot of people don't, but most people that are making over 6 figures do have returns, especially in the clothing category, the most competitive category on all of eBay, and you don't have the measurements. And you have like 5 photos. I would definitely, I'm not gonna yell, I'm trying not to yell, but I would definitely have returns on and include the measurements. Because you just got to think, there's people like myself, for example. I would not buy something on eBay unless it had some form of returns, especially for clothing. Because even a t-shirt, even if you do put the measurements, some shirts might just have really tight like sleeves or a weird neck. Yeah, and people just, yeah. And you have low feedback too, so it's like, how can we really trust you? Especially since you don't take the time to put measurements in. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. Shipping on this one's a good price. I don't think you're top rated, or it would show top rated here. So if you do become top rated, I think you just have to have like a 95% feedback score and sell a certain amount of items. You get discounted shipping. If you become top rated plus, you also get 10% off your final value fees, which by having free returns, you're not going to lose any money. I've already said this a million times. My return rate is 2.4%. 90% of those are just either a wash or I sold it again and made money on it. There'll be a couple of them where you lose money, but I'm going to save over $2,000 this year just on that 10% off my final value fees. So it's definitely worth it, and it makes you way more competitive, and you're going to be higher up in the search. See what else you got going on here. Yeah, I'd say the titles need a lot of work as well. J. Crew women's top medium linen. So if you do a little research, like this is knit. It's almost like a cable knit. I think that's called a boat neck. So keywords are definitely going to help you. You don't even have the color in the title. That's kind of pink. Let's see down here. Tank. That's not a tank. That is sleeves, right? Yeah, that is sleeves. So your item specifics are just wrong, and you don't have very many of them. Color pink, women's pink. You've got no description here either. So, I mean, good start. Some of the stuff you're sourcing is good. It looks like maybe you're doing the bins. But if you're going to be sourcing this stuff like Gap, you need to either get twice as much of it and price it a third of the price. Or I would just stick to stuff like Eileen Fisher and actually learn about it, learn the styles. Like these pants, look at your title, Eileen Fisher pants, large navy. Like these are, I believe, are pull-on pants. They have a roll tab. You can put roll up in the title. They're a capri or a crop. You don't have that in the title. So there's no way. So a lady's going to type in Eileen Fisher pants large, and there's going to be thousands of them that come up. Yours probably is not going to be at the top because you don't have free shipping. You have low feedback. So when they try to dial in their search and they put in some keywords to narrow down their search, yours is going to completely disappear because as soon as they put in the word capri, yours is gone because you don't have capri in the title. I mean, a lot of this is just going to take experience. You have 900 items in your store. I think you should maybe slow down your listing. It looks like you're doing like around 10 a day. Maybe do 5 a day and actually take the time to research what you're listing so that you can learn. And before you pick up the items, try to look up the sell-through rate. A lot of people still don't understand what sell-through rate is. So I'll just show you one time here. Eileen Fisher pants, right? So there are 13,000 pairs of Eileen Fisher pants total on eBay, including new, used, and new other. So there's 13,000 listed, 5,400 sold. So it's like a 40% sell-through rate on Eileen Fisher pants. And you can see your pricing on them is good because look at their pricing. It's higher than yours in a lot of cases. So yeah, that's how you look up the sell-through rate. And then let's look up the Gap sell-through rate. But for pricing, let's help you look up pricing. Blue, capri, pull on. So if we narrow it down, there's actually a higher sell-through rate. So if you put in those keywords, it's going to bump it up to an 80% sell-through rate for your item. So there are 8 sold and 10 listed. So that item should definitely sell. Here's a similar pair within 3 months. If you price it aggressively, like you are already priced less than all of these people, except for this one. So yours should theoretically sell first, be the next one to sell. But it's probably not going to because you don't have returns on and you don't have measurements. So they're actually going to pay more to buy from these people. Like this person has free returns. Let's look at them. A lot of photos. They got the material tag. They don't have the measurements there, but I'm guessing they have it down here. Yeah, waist size 37 inches. They have all their measurements here. I think it's easier just to put them in the photos. Yeah. So this one's definitely going to sell before yours. So this is everyone you're competing with. It's only 10 people. So all you have to do to sell those is take the time, look at what they're doing, and be better than them. There's absolutely no reason that someone's going to buy your pants over this person. Let's see. Do they have the measurements? Yep, measurements. They don't accept returns. But at least they have the measurements, so they're still a step ahead of you. So you just got to take the time and research the items you're selling. Keep going. Be more consistent with the listing. Turn on returns. Free returns are better because you can get pretty much all of your negative feedback removed. There's absolutely no financial risk to you. You don't have to refund the original shipping. You can withhold up to 50% of the refund if there's something wrong with it when they send it back. You're going to get a ton more sales. Yeah, that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching.